Oh, good. The so the chat's loaded here, and I'm sure most of you saw the ad, and then now the ad's gone. Cool. Okay, so that means we can probably get started any moment. We're just gonna give it a couple more minutes just to allow more people to roll on in, get the notification that we are live tonight. And of course, Brian Ferguson gets the Timbits tonight. He was first in. And we've got Dwight Curley with the Canada flag. Man, I think I added that little icon thing a long time ago. I'm surprised anybody still uses it. That's awesome. And then we got Eminem Rails and Nathan. How's it going, Nathan? Mr. Todd Armstrong. Trackside Action. How's it going? How's it going? Ronald. How's it going, Ronald? We got a good night tonight for everybody. Everybody, including Inked Rails. Brian, how's it going, Brian? We're going to be doing some work tonight, but I want to go over a few things before I do that. Dundas Junction Model Railroad. James, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. John Train. Awesome Possum. Hi. Chris May. How's it going, Chris? And Brad, or Bradley. How's it going? Okay, so now you guys know Third Rail Thursday. We normally do this thing every single Thursday. It's the first Thursday of the month. Typically, it's Tim from They Make It Like That. He is away this week. He's sick. He's not feeling too good, so I told him I'd cover. Levels of sick. He's sicker than I am, so as the rule is, if you're sicker than the other guy, then that's how it goes. So, I'll cover him for him this week. I'll probably still do my week next week. And then, of course, we'll be over on Mark's channel. And then we've got GV After Dark at the end of the month. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing some work tonight on the layout. And this is going to be one of those times that you're going to want to stick around for. Because I'm doing cork. I'm breaking ground, if you will. So hopefully I can get some track down as well. But we'll see what happens. Today I do want to talk about track because it's one of those things that I feel like everybody has a different opinion on it. And I'm going to give you my opinion because I've used multiple different kinds of track in the time that I've been doing the model railroad thing. So why not one more opinion, right? Mike H.O. Trains, how's it going? And Anthony, how's it going, Anthony? Welcome, everybody. Plenty of room in the back there. Fill in the chairs. All right, so we'll take a look at a few things here as far as the track, and then I'm gonna lay some cork, and then I'll just kind of talk about what I'm doing as I go. So, taking a look here, of course, I've got a whole spread, a plethora of different types of track that I could get my hands on at this very moment. I didn't buy anything extra. This is either, something that was left over from my last layout, something that I'm currently using, and then something that I've had for a while. This is actually my programming track, but I wanted a piece that I had, or I was trying to find a piece long enough to more or less house a big locomotive if I needed to do a big locomotive. And I had this left over from a long time ago. These are the concrete ties. But so I just have a little bit of everything here that I can show you guys. And, we can look at the differences as well. And I'll let you know what my thoughts are on some of these. I know everybody, again, has a different opinion. But it is what it is. So I'm just going to come over here for a second. Get nice and close. So, first and foremost, One of the earliest pieces of track that I used was Atlas. This is just a piece of Code 100, and this is your basic snap track. And a lot of people will start out with this. Some people like it enough to keep going with it, see it through. In this current layout that I'm using, I might throw in a couple of these here and there. I know I've used it on my facility that I've been working on, where I had just put this coming out of the building. These are available in different sizes, and of course different curvatures as well, and you can basically build a whole layout with these. They already have the nail holes in them so that you can tack them down with your nails, or you can glue it down, either one. For me, I can't stand this little end piece here, so even on the industry that I use this piece for, I ended up removing this piece, and I will put other ties in its place. What I'm currently using for my new layout is Code 100, and this is Pico. There's honestly, I don't see too much of a difference in size or shape. It's more or less just the color, really. This is a darker, almost blackish brown, where this is more of a nicer brown color. It's more true brown, I guess you could say. And there's no pins for this, so you're gonna have to drill your own, which I'm gonna show you later. And this is just flex track, so it is what it is. You cut it to the length you need it to be, and you can bend it around corners and whatnot. You make it your own, right? This is a Code 100 Pico Insulfrog switch. I'm going to be using a lot of these on my layout as well. I'm going to leave the little spring in there. I used to remove them all, especially when I was using the Walther switch machines. I'm going to be very careful how I use my switch machines this time around. Not going to keep them all, scattered like I did last time. I feel like I had more options for electrical outlets, and I don't have the electrical outlets that I used to have. So if I do end up using Walther switch machines, it's going to be in a prime area that is really hard to reach, that I can put quite a few attached, possibly for my second level. These are great. The one difference between going Code 100 versus Code 83 is how they describe the size of your switch. So with Code 100, they're a small, medium, large, which you could probably compare to a number 5, a number 6, and a number 8 as far as sizing goes. Because, Code 83 does it by numbers. I really wish they would do the exact same thing for both, but here we are. This is just this is what they do. Switching over to Code 83, this is Pico Code 83. This is a piece of my old layout. I hope it looks familiar. Remember this one from the last layout on that one spot? Again, flex track. This one's a little bit more weird when you compare the two together. Bear with me here. Okay. So when we look at the ties, the Code 83, the ties are much smaller, and they're pushed together a lot more. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a lot more ties on the Code 83 than there is on the Code 100. They're a bit more spread out, if you will. And the flex is still pretty good. Code 83 I find worked really well for my layout. But the one thing I'm going to show you, the reason why I am going with Code 100, mostly because of the bigger size of the rail. But if you do have, and usually you'll see it with like a European locomotive or car, it will have these pizza cutters, as they call them, because the flange is really big. And if the rail's not high enough, you're going to be hitting every single one of these ties, and it'll be a bump, 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 and it won't be smooth. And even though I had European locomotives in the past, and I don't have any right now, I still like the idea of my locomotive going around the main line on a little bit higher piece of rail, just to make it look like it's raised up almost. And then when you bank that curve, it's gonna look even more sweet. Because you guys know I like to take pictures with the trains going around the layout and whatnot. So I want to make it more photo something. I don't know what the word is, but it involves taking pictures. Next up, this is a Code 83 switch. So much like the Flex Track, you're gonna tend to have a lot more of the ties, and they're going to be closer together. This here is a curve switch. It's what they'd refer to as a number 7. I have had good and bad experiences with number 7s, but I trust them, and the angle that this one does, I trust it for where I'm going to be putting it later tonight. With most of this stuff here, the Code 83, there's no holes, but they do give you, and you can kind of see it, there's a couple right there. They're pre-drilled holes, but they don't go all the way through. So you have to get a drill bit and finish drilling through, and then you just tack it down with your nails from the top. And they're right throughout, like there's another one there, and then there's a couple down here. But it's still a very reliable switch. And again, I don't really have too many problems with it. When I've had problems, it was probably something I was doing, to be honest with you. But, it happens, right? Trackside Mike, how's it going? John Benicki, how's it going? LGRFBS, how's it going? So yeah, we're just going over some track here. My personal experience with some of these types of track and why I use what I use. So the one thing that I've always said for a while is that, okay, I'm going to do Code 100 on the main line because that makes sense to me. A lot of people will do Code 83, and they say that Code 83 is more prototypical. Even a lot of the clubs, like the Ottawa Club, they have both Code 100 and Code 83 throughout. I think personally Code 100 looks great for a main line, and then Code 83 for your industries and your sidings. That might be something to consider. I think most of what I'm going to do for this layout though is Code 100. If I was doing, a more pro level layout in the future, I think I would sit down and say, okay, this is going to be Code 83, this is going to be Code 100, and then that'll be it, right? It's like setting the rules of your layout, and that's it. So you already know when you're going to build a section, okay, well, I'm going to need Code 83 here, or I'm going to need Code 100. Now, when it comes to mixing all these different codes, the one thing that you'll want to take a look at is this little guy right here. This is your Pico Streamline, half Code 83, half Code 100. And it looks like a little, honestly, it looks like a piece of Atlas filler track. And I'm going to show you this here. It is literally half and half. What's the size on this thing? I think it's like a couple of inches. So yeah, it's 1 3/4 inches. So it's just under 2 inches. And you're going to go from your Code 83, which you can clearly see which one is Code 83 and which one is Code 100. There's no real way to mess that up. Even the ties, like these ties right here, are the same as your Code 100, and these ties are your Code 83. So it blends well. And then if you look at the bottom, they've got them soldered together, so you don't have to worry about them coming loose or anything. You just got to make sure that you have the right joiners on each end of this, and of course, don't put it backwards, and vice versa. But that's a really good piece, because what I'm eventually going to be doing is I'm going to be going on to this code number 7, which is Code 83, and then I'm going to have to switch back to Code 100, just because they didn't have the curve I needed in Code 100. So I had to get a box of these just to be able to put that where I need to put it. The 83 and 100, it is SL. I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. SL116. SL116. And that's your Code 83 to Code 100 transition track. So that's cool. So I'm going to be using that a bit. I put this, I kind of attached it, and I rolled a piece of rolling stock over it just to see, how it holds up. And honestly, all you hear is the little click-clack. Yeah, you're going from one rail to the other, but it shouldn't. It looks very clean. When they do these, it's very nice. Now, of course, these are all wooden ties. Like I said, I've got this piece here, and I'm pretty sure this is Code 100. The ties are a little bit smaller because they're concrete ties. But, oh, you know what? The rail does look like it's Code 83, though. Nope, that's Code 100. Yeah, that's Code 100. And it's obviously concrete ties. Very nice as well. They've been replacing a lot of wooden ties with the concrete ties, especially on main lines. Down in Toronto, they've been replacing a lot of the older, the GO line and whatnot with the passenger services. I've been getting the concrete ties and whatnot. They obviously hold up a lot better. But if you like that classic feel, of course, go with the wooden ties and then just paint them whatever, and you're good to go. Now, when I was talking to you about putting holes in some of these, because like I said, the track that I'm using, it doesn't have any holes. And of course, I left out Walthers because I do not have any Walthers, but if you want to learn more about Walthers, go check out Dundas Junction Model Railroad, because he's using Walthers switches and track, flex track and whatnot. And yeah, that's his thing, and it looks really nice. It's a little bit more pricey than the Pico, but I don't mind. So, but he had suggested to me the number 60, which is the .040 diameter drill bit, and you get 2 of them in here. These are by Walthers, part number 947-60, and basically it's just 2 little drill bits. I don't know if you can even see that or not. I'm gonna have to take it out of here because I'm gonna need to use that after. But I also ordered this from Amazon. It was I think it was like $17, or it was $19, and then you get a $2 coupon. And I'll show you here. So basically, it's a set of 3, and these are, I don't know the technical name for it, but it's a drill bit. And on the end, when you turn this, the teeth on the end here open up, and then when you put your drill bit in here, you tighten that up again, and then it'll hold on to a very tiny drill bit, and then you can pre-drill all your track holes. And for $20 you get 3 different sizes. I probably am just going to probably use the little one because it's a little drill bit and I don't need to make a big mess of things. So that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over the track a little bit and talk about that. So I'll probably do some work now because I've been been dying to do some work on the layout. And to be honest with you, I'm almost ready to do my helix. The wood from, and I guess I can show you here. What camera are we? There we go. Watch out for shaky cam. So this is where I work every day. This is my 9 to 5 here. I've got my keyboard and whatnot. You guys know that I built this platform and I raised up my my monitors here, and that's strictly just so that the train can go underneath, and then it goes through this wall right here, which I did last week. And there's now a piece of wood going right along on the other side of this wall, going all the way, and you can kind of see it there now, right here. It comes out to right there. And then these are all the center portions that hold up every single turn of my helix. So that's basically where I'm at down there. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to do that. I got to take some of the stuff off of here so that I can glue down some of this and whatnot. So we're going to do that now. I should have done this before, but I didn't feel like it. So I figure I'd make you watch. This here, it's literally just 2 connectors, nothing too crazy. And then obviously the power supply. And then this will be put back here tonight so I can work again tomorrow morning. I just got to be able to get under here to lay the cork and set that up. This is another cool thing that I picked up recently. Got it from the dollar store. It was a couple of bucks. I've got code 83 and code 100 rail joiners, and then all my rail spikes. So I just load them all up in here, and I know where I'm grabbing from each time. And I don't have to fight getting it out of the plastic and all that. It's all ready to go. I don't know if you could see that or not, but now the first thing I gotta do is I gotta fix this one thing here, and I need hot glue to fix it. So I gotta plug my hot glue gun in. And then I gotta give myself some slack here because I don't have enough, and I'm gonna knock a whole bunch of stuff over if I yank on that. So I've got a lot of my cork here, but what I gotta do is I gotta move all these buildings here, my entire paper mill. I've been doing a lot of cleaning throughout the week. Some days more than others. Still not really enough. I have so much to do still before I do other sections. But I'm chipping away, so that's good. I also ran out of certain glue, so I gotta wait on that. Oops. This is still wired in. So I have a lot planned out for this area here, being the paper mill. And I want to get a lot of this done, and the track done in this area, so that even if this is all I'm running right now, I can just switch it out, switch out some cars, and it'll give me something to do. And then obviously scenery and whatnot as well. I can, if I don't feel like making something with wood, I can always switch over and do some scenery stuff. Do a little bit of everything, of course. There's always something to work on. Doesn't help that these wires are hanging down, but what can you do? Is the hot glue ready yet? It might be. Okay, so first things first. So I just have to pin up these lights first, because if I don't do that, then it's going to bug me, probably. And also, they're hanging down in the way, so that's also a pain. I might use rock molds. I don't think I'm there yet for the scenery side of things. I normally get my track down and worry about all that stuff first. I make sure that the trains can run. And then from there, once I know it works, I can start doing a bit more scenery stuff. So knowing that that light is up is good. Oh yeah, remember the other day when I was talking about candy? And I'm like, the most addictive thing are these new Nerd gummy cluster things. That's what I was talking about. It's a gummy with like nerds on the outside. Oh my gosh. As you can tell, I didn't give that up. So if you hear me snacking, yep. Now, I'm not going to put hot glue all the way along this thing, but I am going to hide it along the seam here. And because it's only hot glue, if I need to take it off, it'll come off really easy. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. Now, of course, this controls the lights for the underside here. They work, I've tested them, and it makes it really bright. I can probably turn them on for you guys if you want to see it, but it's not a huge deal because I'm not running trains right now, so it'll just make it unnecessarily hot in here. That's the problem with LEDs, right? It does get a little bit toasty, so. But it'll be great once I have scenery in there and everything, and then I can have some people over to run trains, and then I'll turn on the lights so that everyone can see what's going on. And of course, too, when you're like filming something, you want that extra bright light. There's a little control thing there. So you got your power, plus and minus. Of course, it's not going to do anything right now because it's not plugged in. A scenery party. Now I've heard everything. The only guy I've ever met confident enough to say I'm going to come over and I'm going to work on that would be Mike HO Trains. And Tim, of course. Tim said that when he looked at a giant wall that I had on my layout, on my last layout, he said, "Oh man, I just want to put graffiti all over that wall." Most people, I think, would be nervous about doing something like that on somebody else's layout. I wonder if, oh, you know what? I don't have to worry about that because that's that under the layout. So I'm going to leave that piece off. Okay. So I think that should be good. That's my power supply. And I'm going to unplug that. That's going to cool down. Put my extra glue sticks away. Okay. So as far as adhesives and making this work and all that, there's a couple of things that you can do. And also, I've seen a lot of people do different things. So they'll put the pink foam down and then you can just put your track on top of that, or you can put cork on top of the pink foam, or you can put cork right onto the wood. Or you could probably just put the track down onto the wood. The big thing is that it does, like, you still hear a lot of noise when you put the cork down, or the track down onto the wood. Cork is okay as far as deafening. I like to hear a bit of a rumble because then it adds some bass to it a little bit, but not too much. But yeah, so what we'll do, this is what I use here as far as an adhesive. So it's the Lepage or Lepage, and this is just wood glue. Your stuff's not coming up because I use this on cork, and cork will not come back up. You can scrape it off, and that's fine. But you can do your ballast on there and use all your water, glue, adhesive, alcohol. Your cork's not coming up if you use this. So, and you can also use this on foam as well, the pink foam. I really like it. I used, what's that stuff, No More Nails? For the first couple of years, I used No More Nails. But you only get so much, and it's expensive for a tube, and then you have to, because it comes in like the caulking gun kind of thing. And then I'm like, well, technically it's wood, and cork is, cork. So I decided I was going to use the Lepage stuff on my other layout, and it worked really, really well. So I haven't really turned away from it yet. I haven't found any issues with it. As far as holding my cork down, I've got so many pins here. I use pins as if, sewing ones. You go to the dollar store or whatever, and you get your little sewing pin. You get a box of 50 for like $1 or $2. I've gone and gotten 2 at this point in the time that I've been using these, because yeah, eventually they warp, they bend, you lose a little ball on the end of it, so you just throw it out. So yeah, but I've used this on so many layouts, and I say so many, but it's like, you know, I'm on number 6 now, so more than what I would like. I've used them on more layouts than what I can tolerate at this point. I think I also took these to Brian's house when I was helping him with his layout. I can't remember though. I know you had a lot of soup cans, but that's why Brian gets the award for having most soup cans available during a layout build award. Yes, please like the stream. Let me know what you think. Of course, you know, I've been waiting all week to, well, actually, it's been longer than a week, because I've been saying, hey, I'll lay track and whatnot, and you guys will be stoked because I finally get to lay track and whatnot. But I'm like, oh, I got to do this thing live. I can't just not do it live, because milestones, you know? So, yeah. So anyways, I love this wood glue, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting cork down, because that's what you all came for. Also, this stuff dries really quick, like really quick. Hour to 2 hours. I haven't really timed it, but I know it goes quick. I've already made all my lines where the track's going to go. And of course, you know, you do your center line, because it's 2 halves of this cork. I already marked where my switch is going to be, but it's just a hand throw, so that's not a big deal. And then, yeah, it's just a matter of following the line. And then you'll be good. This is where the number 7 is going to go, the number 7 curve. And I know it's a weird place to have a curve right under my thing. When I originally thought, okay, so this is what I'm going to do, the curve turnout wasn't way back here. It was way up here. So that's what happens when your layout changes sometimes, right? The plans change. It's okay. Doesn't mean you made a mistake. It just means that it changes. That's it. Of course, you want to offset your cork as well, so that you don't have them meeting side by side. With this here, because it is a switch, I'm going to go half this way with this one. So right now, if I have enough, or which I don't, if I had enough track, I'd be able to go from the opening that I made with Hopper a couple of weeks ago, all the way through the office and all the way to the bottom of the helix where I can start my curve. And yeah, but I don't think I have that much track, but I will definitely see how far I can get. Because it's double mainline, so it will take up a bit more track. And I was talking about this with Brian earlier. Some of the things that suck when it comes to building a layout are the things that really eat up all the track, and that's like, you know, helix and a yard, double mainline. When you have multiple levels, it gets crazy, but as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, then you'll be okay. Takes a certain level of whatchamacallit. Like, you have to be able to say, okay, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it, and you know, just pull the trigger basically. Okay, so that's 2 pieces in. Looking okay so far, but it's a, you know, it's a switch, so we will get there. I want to double main on my next layout, but it's gonna suck with how much track it eats. Yup. And then when you start talking about yards, I think like buying track is okay. It's whatever, you know. It's the main thing. Whether you're doing a loop or no loop, you're doing it end to end. The thing that ends up costing you the most are switches. Switches, crossovers. Yeah. I think that's the real consumer of coin, as they call it. Some of these pins are so haggard, they'll never work. Okay, let's do another one here. Even the straight section that it goes, like, you know, it's on the other side of this wall. It's what, 8 or 9 feet long from the end of this curve. It's like 8 or 9 feet long, and it's strictly just straight. Like, I'm not going to put any switches on it. Definitely doesn't need any switches. But it's going to eat up a lot of track. Now with this here, I have to start on this side because I cut the cork back a little bit to be able to get the screws in, or the screws out originally from the old layout. Let me tell you what a big help that is, saving all those pieces with all that cork still on it. You know, it's almost like having a portable helix. I saved a lot of time and money doing that. Like I said, normally like on my old layout, I glued all my track down. I'm just doing nails this time around because it's a lot easier to save track that is nailed down opposed to track that, of course, you know, you have to scrape it up. Another cool thing, excuse me, is that a lot of the pieces, like this piece here, that is part of the 8-foot long piece that I cut off to make my yard. There's an 8-foot long piece of this on the other side of the wall, and I used a lot of this just for this section here to fill it in. So every single piece of those 4x8s that I cut for my yard are being repurposed here in other parts of my layout. So nothing is going to waste here. All the 2x4s and all the other wood from my old layout, everything there, of course, as well, is being reused into this layout. Nothing is being left behind. There was some pieces obviously I couldn't use because they were just too far gone. But for the most part, I haven't really needed to spend too much to get this layout going. Wiring's going to be fun too, because I've decided how I'm going to do my wiring. I just obviously don't have any track down to wire anything yet. But I'm basically doing a straight line. So these two lines are going to go all the way to the other end. And at the end, one's going to loop around on itself. And it's just going to have a reversing loop at the end. And then at the top, so the other end, same thing. It's going to loop on itself, and I'm just going to turn it into a reversing loop. Which I've honestly never done before, but you know, shouldn't be too hard with an auto reverser. The wiring diagram looks very easy. In worst case, I'll call Daveco because he's got an auto reversing thingy on his layout. Okay, so this is what we got here. So we got both lines, and they're out from under the whatchamacallit, the computer. I do have to make a piece for the whatchamacallit. What is it called? Jeez Louise. I'd forget my brain if it wasn't glued in properly. The crossover turnout. Let's not rack our brains too hard here. Also, if y'all can do me a favor, and if there's an admin in the chat right now, I might need your help here. Last time I checked, Trackside Mike, we all know Trackside Mike. Trackside Mike is about 2 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. Can we all check, make sure we're all subscribed to him, and then if if you are, great. If not, go ahead and give him a follow, because he's been sitting there for a little bit and definitely needing that push over 1,000. I was there. I know what that's like when you're teetering. He does live streams every Monday with James. Should be following James too. Dundas Junction Model Railroad. Double check to make sure you're following both those gentlemen. James has amazing bench work, and he's always doing shorts. And he looks sharp in a pumpkin hat. But yeah, we need to get Mike and James over 1,000. I think as a community, we can do that. And if I do have any admins in the chat, if you can throw their links up for those who might see this, give them a follow. Already subbed. 997. Come on. Come on, people. You'll know Trackside Mike. He's the one who's always reminding you to keep it on the tracks. Where would we be if he did not remind us to keep it on the tracks? By the way, even though he's not paying me to to say nice things about him, I do accept checks and PayPal. I'm just kidding, Mike. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, go check him out, and you won't be disappointed. Speaking about not being disappointed, I've taken a lot of pictures of trains in the past, and you know, you just kind of sit on those pictures and you don't really do much with them. Well, I've had a lot of people ask me about the train shirts that I wear. You know, there's usually a Canadian locomotive on them, and I'm usually caught in public or in one of my videos wearing one. I'm wearing my hoodie right now, and people always ask me where I get my cool train shirts from. And I always tell them it's Fine Art America. It's a website. You can look it up, Fine Art America. And what I did recently is I started creating my own shirts. Because some of these websites where, like, because I have shirts and whatnot that you can buy, but the website, I've had issues with the sites and whatnot, and then some people use what's it called, Patreon and whatnot. It's I don't know, but this one here, it's for artists, and basically, when you upload photos or artwork to this website, you can have it turned into whatever you want. You can make beach towels, you can make shirts, sweaters, you know, whatever. So I took some of my photography of some Canadian trains and I uploaded it. That way, if anybody wants some of my artwork and put onto a shirt, then you're able to do that. And of course, you know, if you're into Canadian trains like me, you can bet your bottom dollar that the pictures are Canadian trains, because that's what I take photos of. So, yeah, you definitely won't be disappointed. And I have to order some for myself, which I'm going to do eventually. But for now, I have posted them, and you can look it up by my name, by artist name. But I also put a lot of tags on it as well, like Via Rail or Go Transit, you know, stuff like that. And if you look it up by Chris Ward, which is my real name, it's not, you know, Go Via or Go Home. If you look it up, then yeah, you'll be able to find all my prints, and you choose whatever print you want, and you're good to go. I also added my 2 logos, one from 2023 and 2024. And I'll show you the website in a minute. But it's pretty cool because they're like the most comfortable t-shirts. I've purchased different, you know, t-shirts from different companies and whatnot, and yeah, I'm very picky. But when I say that this is a comfortable t-shirt, I can definitely say that is a comfortable t-shirt. Mike is at 999. We need one more. One more for Mike. We got to put him over. know this almost sounds like a telethon for getting Mike subscribers, but couldn't have it any other way. We'll have Paul Anka come out and sing if we can get him to. See the one that does the "It's not unusual to be loved by anyone." I forget how fun laying cork is. It's fun. It's so much fun. I enjoy doing this. I'm not even being sarcastic. It sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm really not. Most of the time I sound like I'm being sarcastic about something. But laying cork is not one of those things that I'm sarcastic about. I genuinely enjoy doing it. And I tell you, if it's a job that I'm not a fan of doing, I will tell you. Because not all aspects of this hobby is something that I'm all like, oh, yay, I love doing that. Just wait till the day that I have to do the wiring for this sucker. I'm going to be like, no, I don't want to do it. It's not fun to me. But you're going to sit and watch. Watch me suffer. And that'll be the stream. Watching this guy suffer for a good, several hours while I do wiring. Microengineering track. It's very stiff. If I was doing the kind of layout that I have to take apart and put back together, I would do that on curves. Because it holds its shape a lot better than this other stuff. But I wouldn't use the switches. I don't like microengineering switches. But if you ever watch Peter, I can't remember his exact handle, but Peter talks about that where, because he has to put layouts together, he builds them, and then he has to transport them. And when you have a huge section that's like a giant curve, you want to use microengineering to hold that shape along the curve to connecting it back together. It'll make it easier. Pro tip. Yes, I can say Chris does enjoy track work. Seen it firsthand. Yeah, we made a day out of that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's fun to me. All right, Mike, you have yourself a good one. Safe travels. I don't know if you're home yet, but safe travels. Oh, is Bubs out too? Oh, yeah, Bubs is up early tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we have to be up early as well. It's our kitten's first doctor appointment. So we gotta get Binks to the vet to get his first set of shots or something, or some sort of shots, because it's important in their kitten health or something. I can't remember what it is. What is my favorite part of the hobby? The smell of a brand new locomotive. I'm not sure. There's so many different things that I like doing when it comes to the hobby. Running trains is one of those obvious ones, because why wouldn't that be on my list? If that's not on your list, then why are you doing this? But when it comes to tasks, like doing tasks, kit building is one of the top ones. Kit building and scenery, track laying. I consider track laying and cork laying basically the same thing. You're just building the foundation for your layout at that point, basically. What else? What else is fun? I like stuff about things. Oh yeah. I've got some more pins here. I'm going to see if these, yeah, they should work too. I do a lot of carpentry stuff. Like, I like building stuff as well. So that's also on the list. It's probably not as high because it's more back-breaking labor than anything, personally. I always tend to overdo it, and I end up doing like 2 hours of work, and then I'm hurting for like the next couple of days. That's me in a nutshell. Rail fanning is also, I think, a big part of the hobby, but no one will probably mention rail fanning. I like to get prototype photos and see if I can emulate that. Some people are huge history buffs, and they like learning about the history of a railroad and, you know, how they would run it and all that. That's not really a thing that I would like personally, because I've never really been big into history. And that's probably why I run a lot of modern stuff anyways. You want to know what's running right now, you go look out your window, you know? I don't have to really check the history books to see when VIA was running the modern equipment that they're running right now. These pins work really well too. I don't know why I didn't just use these. It's probably because they're like bigger and whatnot. They do have a nice grip to them. Yeah, I should probably just switch to all these. this 100 times and 100 times again, and you know, you learn something new every single time you do it. So that's kind of cool, right? So these are the two main lines, and then this is just the branch that goes up to the industry, or the industry lead, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. People have so many names for these things. I don't think I tacked this piece down, so I gotta do that. So if it gets noisy, that's why. Drill. Where is my drill? Here it is. I might be able to show you guys my where I'm at with my helix. Cool. All that's going to get covered up anyways, but not a big deal. Direct hip. Sorry. I don't know what you can see and what you can't see here. Oh, gotta go up a little bit. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, better. Okay, so with this here, you got your two main lines that run on the outside here. And then you're gonna have your branch line in here. Switch here, and I think I'm gonna have the cork on this side, but not this side. So I'll be able to run that right down, and then these two can just go right down. Hey Larry, how's it going? We are laying some cork here on the new layout, and I hope to be able to run trains soon. I've got probably enough track to do this entire section here, and I think I have more than enough cork as well. The one thing that I do want to do that I haven't really talked much about is that, now you guys know that this area here, this is going to be where the paper mill is. I moved all the buildings that were here so that nothing would get damaged or anything like that. But what I want to do is I want to attach those buildings permanently to a piece of masonite. The masonite isn't that thick, but it's strong enough that if I connect them all, I can make a almost like a modular base to it. And again, if I ever need to move, I just remove the whole thing out of the layout. But I have to do that. I'm going to do that some other time. Not right this moment, obviously, because I'm doing this. Just want to get the track in and settled here on the main line first before I do anything crazy like that. But it is on the list, so. I have to fix the one building that goes down at that end because it kind of collapsed. The glue gave way, and because it's an entire brick building, I want to see if I can give it the same treatment or close to the same treatment that I did my ITLA kit with, you know, doing the brick building look to it. It's tougher with plastic, but I will do my best. To about there. This bottle goes a long way as well. That's the thing. I've only used, I think I've gone through 2 bottles, and that basically did my old layout and the layout before that. And then I got this one when I was probably right around doing the helix and the 3rd level of my last layout. To kind of show you how far one bottle will go. I think shorts kill views from your actual videos. My shorts are 600 to 800. My videos are 20 to 30. it's so tough because I think you have to have a certain amount of whatchamacallit. You have to have a certain amount of views on your shorts in order for it to actually do something. But I mean, I always talk with James about like the algorithm and how most of the algorithm stuff with YouTube, it's not accurate. It's not right. A lot of people would sooner watch, you know, a 30-second short opposed to a 10, 15-minute video that's very accurate. Me, with shorts, it really depends on the short. And same thing with the video. If you're doing like a 30-second review or unboxing of something, I want to see the full thing. I don't want 30 seconds of it. I'm going to be asking for more at that point, you know? That's why I never really got into doing like super quick reviews. If it's something that's been out for a while, then I mean that's totally fine. Some people can get away with it. But I mean, like, you know, when you look at some of the unboxings or reviews that I've done, especially with like Go Transit stuff, I can't remember what I'm at, but it's up in the 30,000 views, somewhere up there. I know my Tempo Train is probably the most views I've ever gotten, which is it's in the 50,000 views. But I've also had that set. I don't have it anymore. I had that set for a while. It wasn't, you know, 50,000 views overnight. It was over several years. I think there's even people that just do shorts, and then that's all they do. But again, that's a whole other ball game. What I miss doing are the lives where I'm just running trains the entire time. I find that people really enjoyed those, you know? It's the background noise. A lot of people watch this stuff as background noise, which I can appreciate, because if I wasn't doing this live, I would probably have videos going on in the background. But obviously for copyright purposes, I can't. So I become the background noise at this point. Thought I had more of those pins. I don't think so. Oh well, that's fine. I don't know if I want to risk it yet, but I think a lot of the stuff that I've already done, like right at the beginning, most of that stuff is probably dry by now. That's how quick this stuff dries. I think though, while that's drying, I have to connect a piece here. You gotta remember, the more you upload video-wise, the more there is for people to watch. The more there is for people to watch, the more views you'll get. The more views you get, the more you're probably gonna want to upload more. So, tread lightly, you know. Be careful what you wish for it might come true. Also, another thing that you got to remember is that because I've been doing this for 10 years, that's right, this is my 10-year anniversary. I know I've mentioned it before. Big deal, right? Because it's my 10-year anniversary, again, you've got videos going back 10 years. And how many videos do you do in a year? Well, I do a live every either Saturday or Sunday, Thursday. You know, it happens. There's a lot of lives that happen. And that's like every single week. There's also, anytime a specific or special product comes out, you got to do an unboxing for that. So at least, you know, once, twice a month. I used to do mail call videos once a month. And then, of course, just those times where you want to run trains. Special holidays, you know. It's a holiday. I want to run a train because it's whatever holiday. Canada Day. Let's run some Canadian trains. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. When you designed this layout, what features did you put in that you don't have on your previous Basement Empire? That's a good question. I think the biggest thing is going through the wall. Because, you know, the guys always bugged me about it. They always said, Chris, what's that hole in the wall going to happen? When's that hole in the wall? And I said, I don't know. Never. So now I got a hole at one end of my office, and the train comes in, goes all the way through to the other hole where it exits my office. So all that right there, even if it was just that. Another thing is a big yard. I've always wanted a big yard, and I think that what I can do here, I wouldn't have been able to do at the other house, just because of the shape of it. But this one here, doing an L-shaped yard will help. So there's that. This here too, I know you guys know this. Yeah, I love doing massive builds. So to do this and have that on the layout, a full maintenance facility. They laughed. They called me crazy. They said, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I did it. And then they were all like, oh, never mind. He does. Depending on how it all goes with certain industries that I'm thinking of using as well, I might be able to get in a few that didn't make an appearance on my last layout. So I have a couple of ideas there for certain industries that I would like to add. But I think starting this way, where it's almost like a switching layout, like in this section here, I think it's a good idea. I mean, not for running trains while I'm working, right? Because that's not a good idea. But I mean, like in the sense where, you know, start small and then just keep adding on to it. Because that's probably what I'm going to end up doing here. Start small, which is just the switching. And while I'm working on this, or, you know, potentially going back and forth with that and whatever else I got going on here, it allows me to, again, work on a couple of things at once. You guys know that I can't stay focused on one small thing for too long. That would be impossible. By the way, I took the Go to Oshawa today. I videoed the Go maintenance facility in Whitby as it went by for you. The only problem is they had a train parked in front of me. They'll do that. they'll do that. I'm getting there. So I'm slowly taking out the pins from where I had started, because that's probably all long dry now. By the time you get, a certain footage away, because I'm chipping away at it. I'm not going too quick here. But if I was really going ham, then I would probably stop and say, okay, well, let this happen, and then, let it dry for an hour or two. By the way, I also did this because most of my stuff was in bins. So I took them out, I organized, and I raised it up off the ground, right? Because I had a scrap piece of wood from the old layout, again, and I put a lot of my stuff down here. This isn't everything, but I was able to empty out some bins for moving. And then I also got my F-59s out the other day, so now all my Go is out. Well, I still have one more F-59 that's not there, but I've got one of each. And then a O&R. And then, of course, my CNs. Very cool. Too cool. Too cool. So let's see here. Maybe I can take some more pins out here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm still staggering, leaving, the odd pin here and there. I'm not taking them all out yet. There's a couple that, I had to put close together just to make sure it would hold. Especially on curves, It's a long piece of cork. Oh, there we go. So what'll probably happen is that I'll get all this cork down, and then next Thursday, which is my actual Thursday, probably going to start doing the track, and you'll be able to see me doing the track here. So that'll be cool. I've got a bunch of switches, but I do need to place an order for more. I don't know if you guys got to check it out yet, but Otter Valley's new website has launched. So, because they're doing updates and maintenance daily to it, I wanted to wait for things to kind of slow down a little bit, because they had quite a bit of traffic once the site had launched. So I kind of wanted to give it some time before I start placing orders. But people are already, going nuts and ordering stuff using the new website. Looks good. I know I need to order a locomotive and a couple more switches for here. The locomotive isn't for here, but it's one I need. It's one of two that I need, I should say. Hey Anthony, how's it going? Anthony Dodge and the Model Train Outsider. we're still, quote unquote, chugging along here. That was a train joke or pun. I don't apologize for puns around here, so you get what you get and you don't get upset. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I don't think I need to go further than there tonight. The fun part is testing the trains when it's time to run them. That reminds me, I'm going to need sodium chloride cars. Oh well. Hints. Now with some of this I won't be able to cork it because what I want to do is I want to take this big square cork here. I've got more. That was glued down. This is actually the ethanol plant from my last layout. Again, reusing the same stuff to get this job done, you know? Plywood is not cheap. The plywood that I got, I think it was about, what was it, like $35, $40 for a 4x8, and I had to get 2 of them. So it adds up. Got to do a whole layout, you know. So this whole section here, which was pre-cut, you know, I've got some cork on there, so it was pre-corked, not terrible, you know. So use that option, right? And I know what a lot of people are going to say, but Chris, that's totally close to the edge. It's so close. That's what they said about my Helix. I was less worried there because it would fall on the carpet. But even this here, you know, that's farther away than what the Helix edge was. So you're okay. I think you're okay. But, you know, if I knock something over, it probably deserves to happen anyways because I probably wasn't paying attention in the first place to, you know, knock it over. Is there long pieces? I want the long pieces of cork here. There we go. They were at the bottom. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well. Okay, do you have to cut the end of that? Some of this cork here was used, but you wouldn't know it was used, if that makes sense. Like, that doesn't really look used. Except that's kind of dark. It's like somebody painted that brown. Why would you just paint the sides brown? It doesn't make sense. Either way. So that would go to about there. This part here is where it goes into like the 2-inch track centers, so it's going to look like the cork is extremely close to each other, which I'm not particularly a fan of, but you gotta do what you gotta do again, you know? And yes, these wires hanging down are bothering me. I can't wait till that job's done as well. Been working on that kit for a while now. I guess I can show you here. So you can kind of see the cork. Looking good, thank you. So I mean, I could probably take out some more of those and move them down, but not a huge deal, because as soon as I get down to like where the cabinet is here, if you guys are looking, oh, of course, I'm looking at the wrong part here. Okay, so yeah, so because I get down to this area here, it's going to make it a little more difficult because I have to go through the wall. But also, this is the start here where I'm going to have switches, right? And the switches, well, that's the first switch there, and that comes in off the main. This is a large code, 100 pico. Yep. So that's going to have to go here somewhere. I have it marked out because there's the line there, but it makes it difficult to do this. Because once these lines are covered with the cork, you don't know where you're really going after that. Oops. Okay, what I'm going to try here is going straight off of that and then coming over here. But I want to cut it like right here. So this will be interesting. So that goes up and then across. Ouch. Again, I probably should have moved these wires before doing this, but that's okay. Maybe a couple more should do. Yeah, it still looks good. Looks like it oughta. This is where it's going to get a little bit more technical because I gotta cut a piece to go in here, right down, and then cut some more for this way. And then because of all the switches here, I gotta make some more precise cuts. The fun stuff, right? Because you're not gonna like all of it. Okay, well I can bring that a bit closer. So that's not terrible. And what time are we at? We're at 10 o'clock. So that's the 2-hour mark. So we talked about all the different track, well, most of the track. A lot of the stuff I use anyways. And then I started the whole corking process. Breaking ground on the new layout so that I can hopefully get track down next Thursday. And if not, I'll be back here doing more cork. Gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to be taking all these pins out tomorrow while I'm working. Because it'll all be super dry by then. Maybe I can go a little bit further. cut it right like that. But Chris, how did you determine that that's how you're going to cut it? I don't know. I just kind of went with it. The worst thing that could happen is that I put track over it and I put ballast over it and you don't see it. But if that's the worst that could happen, I think I'll be all right. Whoop. That's still drying. Let's take a pin from here. Okay, so now that I've gotten that far, I think that a lot of this will become very easy. I'm going to show you here. So we are right here. Okay, so this is where I started off down here. I just left the 4 pins in at the very start, and then we came down here. There's a, where is it? The number 7 is going to go in here, much like that, and then it's all going to come out along here. Right down to here. And this is where I basically got to. So far, I think a good at least 10 to 12 feet. Yeah. Some of this glue here. Is there glue hanging out at the end? No? Okay. Maybe more. The track that was visible in my last video, that end of the top deck of the layout. Okay, so from here it's through the wall and then to the beginning of the yard. But I think that as long as I get to the other side of that switch this week, when it comes to doing the cork and whatnot here, it'll go really quickly because it's just big pieces. And then hopefully I can, get some more of this done here and there. There's going to be a track that goes off that way. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the rotary dump, although I really like it. The rotary dump is pretty cool. So we'll see what happens, but I'd much sooner have a track come out where I can do switching and then I can run down to the other end and then reverse the cars in and then switch them out that way, and then that gives me buffer track where I can pull out and then come back. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, with that. So yeah, it's a tough call. I could probably even put a what are they called? A double throw right here, and then have track go back that way, and then track come this way, and then I can empty stuff here, and then use that as my buffer track. Or put this like this, and then I don't know, because that doesn't leave much to the imagination, if I'm being honest. Tough call, tough call. Well, I guess that's it. I guess that's it for tonight. It is just after 10 o'clock, so I gotta get my computer back together, and then I'm probably gonna go to bed, because again, I wasn't feeling all that well today, so for me to do a live is kind of, I don't know, it's a bit much. I'm really addicted to these. It's terrible. All right. So today is Thursday, so we'll see you Saturday night, because I've got more to do on the kit build. And then Monday we'll be on, I think, Mike's channel, Trackside Mike. Did he ever make it to 1,000 yet? I hope so. I'm gonna check after. Mike and James have it live on Monday night, and then we'll be back here on Thursday so that I can hopefully put some track down, because that would be cool. And then we start the cycle all over again. But until next time, I'm Go Beer, Go Home. Thank you very much for watching. And I've got a train to catch. So we will see you Saturday night for the Rail Talk.